Oh, how the mighty have fallen. There will be no NBA final appearances for Mr. James this year. No playoff appearances, no 50-win season. In fact, the Lakers right now at 31 and 38, I believe, they'll be hard pressed to match the 37 wins that the 2018 Lakers had last year. So, in all honesty, in all sincereness, no matter how you want to look at it, this has been a failure of a season. No matter how much LeBron James fanboys want to spin everything, this is not what they were talking about coming into the season. Okay, most people who I know who were big fans of LeBron James before the season started were talking about the Lakers contending with. They're all seeded now. I'll be honest, all of them seeded that the Warriors were a better team, but all of them had this argument, probably going by talking points from idiots like Nick Wrong and Shannon Not Too Sharp. They were all going on these arguments that, well, LeBron James instantly going to give you 15 wins, you know. So they were saying, well, just LeBron James' presence alone is going to give you 50 wins. And it was like, well, they're going to struggle a little bit, but I think toward the end of the season, they're going to get like 55, 56 wins or something like that. And I was like, I don't know, man. I was like, he's not accustomed to playing in the Western Conference. The competition is a lot tougher in the West. People are going to be more. There's a different energy in the Western Conference. It's almost like LeBron James at age 34 was getting the rookie treatment in some ways. Excuse me if my stupid ass dog is barking. He's almost like he was getting the rookie treatment by some of his the teams that he was playing against. And in some ways he was kind of a rookie. A new team, a whole new conference, playing with a bunch of players that he's not accustomed to playing with. Um, so, you know, I thought that the Lakers were going to win maybe 47, 48 games, maybe be like at best a seventh seed, and they weren't going to get probably out of the first round. That was unfortunately uh, a bit too optimistic now. Now, injuries did play a role. Don't get me wrong, injuries played a role in them not making the playoffs, but it's not an excuse. I remember Shaq, I think it might have been the 2001, 2002 season, or 2002, 2000, no, it was 2002, 2003 season. I think Shaq missed something like 20 something games that year. And the Lakers still managed to win probably 56, 57 games or something like that. And that comes from great coaching. Coaches, great coaches like Phil Jackson makes adjustments. Part of the reason why the Lakers suck this year is because of Luke Walton. Luke Walton is at best a mediocre coach. And like Ticket TV said in his video today, shout out to Ticket TV. If you're not subscribed to Ticket TV, please subscribe to Ticket, okay? Like Ticket said, most of Luke Walton's adulation, okay, from the media, sports media, comes from the fact that he had a good stretch with the Warriors that year. Well, hell, I mean, shit, Charles Manson could have coached that team, the psychotic homicidal maniac that he was. And if he didn't kill half the roster, they still would have won about 55, 60 games. So, I mean, come on. But it's not a good look, man, for the Lakers. Now LeBron James is pretty much essentially going to be shut down for something called load management. Now, I don't know whether this is just going to be pretty much a game by game thing, but I'm pretty much going to get the impression that the Lakers are going to shut him down pretty much for the rest of the season. Um, I've never heard of load management before. This is some new corporate term. Um, I understand maybe you don't want to risk injuring your franchise player in a meaningless game. Okay, but this is a key difference between LeBron James and Kobe Bryant. Um, Look, LeBron James probably shared a laugh with Lonzo Ball, something that he noticed that was funny. Okay, whatever. Um, but if the aesthetics of it look bad, all right. Pretty much like the Lakers are. Pretty much they just presented the white flag, man. They took out the white flag and it just pretty much just gave up on the season. They surrendered, and the Lakers lose pretty badly to the Detroit Pistons, who are far from a great team. And you're laughing, and you're guffawing, you're laughing to the point where you put your head down, and people talking about like you got a bat insignia on top of your head, the bat symbol, and I don't know what's going on with LeBron as far as his hair is concerned, man. I know he did some type of hairline restoration procedure a couple years ago, but the thing about that is the hair loss um, is still proceeding. You know what I'm saying? It's still progressing, and I just wonder what it would look like if it wasn't for the restoration surgery or procedure that he had. Remember when he was with Miami, man, like the last year, and he had like that. It was like he had his hair real short, not bald all the way, but was real short, and it was like almost like that Richard Nixon or Dracula shit, where it was only like a landing strip in the middle, and like the side shit was all fuzzy and fading away. Like this that was 2014, 15. Like, can you imagine what his shit would look like now if it wasn't for that? I mean, he probably would look like Bundini Brown by now. You know what I'm saying? But it just doesn't look good, man. Like, I'm not gonna totally hate on LeBron James. All right, I'm very certain that he wants to be in the playoffs. But I can remember Kobe Bryant, right? We all know the story. I think it was the 2012-13 season. Kobe Bryant was the same age that LeBron James was. They had the same record at the All Star break. And Kobe Bryant, despite playing with a soft, spongy waffle of a fucking center in Dwight Howard, helped to propel that team to the playoffs. I remember in 2011, right? They were the defending NBA champions and playing against the Dallas Mavericks. I think it was the Western Conference Finals. I think it was the Western. No, it might have been the Western Conference semifinals. I don't think it was the finals. And I remember it was a pregame or a postgame. I can't remember if it was a pregame or postgame. I think it was a postgame interview that Kobe did after they fell down 3-0. And I remember Kobe was saying, I made fun of Kobe. I remember Kobe said, like, maybe you guys might think I'm crazy. Maybe you think I'm sick in the head, but I think we can still win this series. And I don't know whether he was lying. I don't know whether he was talking, to help motivate his teammates to give them the confidence that they can still get back into the series. Ultimately, they got blown out in Game 4. Dallas was just a better team that year. I remember the Lakers' perimeter defense just did not look the same as it had the prior two years. Um, some of that had to do with Kobe. I think that's he was starting to slow down a little bit defensively. But anyway, the fact of the matter is, Kobe Bryant mentality is he wants to play until the buzzer sounds, until he knows that it's over. All right, he and Michael Jordan and Bill Russell, those guys, they want to play all the way until the fat lady sings. All right, so they go down on their shield, as Skip Bayless would say. One thing I want to say about Bill Russell too, I notice a lot of people sometimes say, well, Bill Russell played on all star teams and they were beating the hell out of everybody, and they were like the Golden State Warriors of the 50s and 60s, and basically kind of make it seem like his 11 championships came so easy. And that wouldn't be all that accurate. Um, Many of those games where the Boston Celtics were playing against the Philadelphia Warriors with Will, or in the finals playing against the Los Angeles Lakers, a lot of those games went down to the wire. All right. Jerry West was a bad boy. All right. Jerry West was putting up 40, 45, 50 points, also being a facilitator, also playing defense. I'm telling you, man, sometimes I'm really tempted to put Jerry West higher on that list, man. Because I think his stock has fallen for some reason, man. Like, I don't think a lot of people really remember how great a player Jerry West was. But anyway, if you want to see what type of guy Bill Russell was, look at those last two championships. The Boston Celtics were not the Boston Celtics anymore. They were a team truly on the decline. I think the last championship that they had, they were 48-34 in the regular season. All right. This is a team that always, in their prime, won about 60 games plus. They struggled during the regular season. They limped into the playoffs. Most people did not expect them to even get to the NBA Finals. They got to the NBA Finals, and the Los Angeles Lakers, the newly acquired Wilt Chamberlain, everybody just thought that the Lakers were going to win that series. And ultimately, Boston showed the championship grit, the heart, the hustle. That's why I have Bill Russell in my top 10. If you notice, most of the guys that are in my top 10. Some of them are quiet assassins like Tim Duncan. Some of them are a little bit more vocal, a little bit more rah, like a Kobe could be, you know. Um, but most of them are generally, I guess, what you call alpha male, uh, tough, gritty, um, championship level, high stakes performers. LeBron, it doesn't come natural to him, man. He comes across to me as a nice guy, and that's not a bad thing, but he just doesn't have that. And I know this has been said a billion times, but he just doesn't have that killer instinct. That mentality to just destroy your opponents. I know this is a strange comparison politically, and I know he's seen as evil in politics, but that's one thing I admire a little bit about politically now. One thing I admire about Richard Nixon is that he kind of had that, I guess what you would call a killer mentality. All right. Whenever he was campaigning against someone, he tried to destroy them. Um, some people hate him for that. But you know what? If I was in the game of politics, I would do the same thing. And but you know, politically, you know, I would be more like, I guess, him, and LeBron James is more like Hillary Clinton. And we saw what happened to Hillary Clinton. Not saying he's a loser, but hey, the proof is in the pudding.